Welcome back everyone to our Making It Fun gameplay series in NASCAR Heat 3. So we're coming off of a top 20 just barely at Auto Club, and what I wanted to do with this season is run a couple of races here at the beginning of the season so you guys could get an idea of what kind of speed we had based on the strength of our car, and then we're going to be simulating a lot of races to earn more money so that we can further improve our car. So let's actually go ahead and get started with that. This will be our Truck Series race. Let's adjust our work plan. Again, we're not going to be improving our trucks anymore. We sort of got what we got there, and it doesn't seem to matter a whole lot when you're simulating races, the strength of your car anyway. So I think we'll just stick with, let's see, actually we need to go with Chris there. And suspension will be Mark. And then coming up next is the short track at Martinsville. So we'll go ahead and get started on our short track chassis as well. Okay, and that'll take us up to where we have everybody working, and I think everything is all set. So let's go ahead and start that work plan. And then we'll go ahead and simulate Las Vegas. So a large purse there, $66,000 available. But of course, we're not going to get anywhere near that with these simulated results. Instead, we'll take 24th and a little over $30,000 and 114 fans. So we'll add that to the list. And okay, looks like Tanner Thorson, we had a run-in with him today. So we'll go ahead and move on past that. And we'll move on into week 7. Where it's back to the Xfinity Series. So that's good for us because the Xfinity Series is our highest payout right now. Okay, so we're going to come in under Adjust Work Plan. We don't really have the money to do any further improvements just yet. So we've got a speedway coming up, then a short track. Now the idea here is we're going to be simulating some tracks that we could have some really good finishes at. And I'm eyeballing Bristol for one, but I really want to save as much suspense for later on in the season and really force us into a situation where we have to get really good finishes and or a win in order to make the playoffs. And then we'll see if we make it or not. I really want to do that, so I'm going to skip by some races that I know we could do really well at just for that reason. All right, so we're going to continue working here. Okay, we've got max of 80 right now on the Arrow. So nothing else to do there. Then we'll go to our short track chassis and work on it as well. Okay, excellent. So we're good to go. You can see we've got Millie who has a 5 on Arrow, but nothing really for her to do. I mean, we could put her to work on something, but it's not going to really make any difference. So we'll let her hang out until we're got enough money to actually put her to work. All right, so we've got bay number 3 is 80s across the board, and then bay number 2 is 90, 80, and 90, which represents the maximum for us right now. So just as a refresher, what we're going to be looking to do next, I would prefer to do the engine, getting it to up to 95, but that's 1.2 million. Our other option is if we go and get Arrow all the way up to 90, and that'll have us 90s across the board. That's only 900,000. So we'll make some decisions as we get closer to there. But there it gives you an idea of how much money we're going to need and how many races we're going to have to simulate in order to get there. Okay, so let's back our way out, and then we're going to go sim the race at Texas. And again, it is very, very tempting to run some of these races with the huge purses, but in keeping with my goals for this series, I am going to skip by these things. Okay, so we'll be 29th, and that'll give us almost $96,000 and 1,600 fans. All right, so we'll take that. Once again, that moves us up. Let's see what kind of feedback we got. Morgan Shepherd, you have to love Morgan Shepherd. If you don't love Morgan Shepherd, you don't love racing. The man's been doing it for 150 years, I think. Is about how long. I've seen that man race in person on the short tracks, and he was old then. Wow. And that's been probably 20 years ago. But you have to love Morgan Shepherd and his passion for the sport. All right, Ross Chastain. Apparently, we did not have a good race with him. And now we're back to camping. So I have some questions about this camping that we seem to be doing with several different drivers. Is this sort of like a group activity, or is this like a one-on-one camping that we're doing with these guys? Because if it's one-on-one, then we're basically going camping all the time. We have a lot of camping trips. So I'm intrigued as to how that works. I need more information on how the camping works. All right, so adjust the work plan. Of course, we got the short track at Bristol, so we're going to get the best we can out of our short track chassis. And once again, nothing we can do yet in aero. And then we'll go back up to our other speedway chassis because we got 2 short tracks in a row and we don't have 2 chassis for short tracks. So we'll just work on one of our speedway cars instead and keep these guys working. All right, so that'll take care of the work plan. Let's go ahead and get that started. And we're back to 90, 80, and 90 on the short track chassis. And let's see what we can do at Bristol. So we're going to simulate here with the short track chassis. Again, a nice purse there, 28th, and we'll bring home a little over $49,000 and 1,600 fans. So right at 35,000 fans right now, and a little over $300,000. So what I've decided to do as we come back into yet another week of Xfinity only, let's go ahead and choose the easy one because, again, we have no shot at top 10s or 15s even when we're simulating these things. So we'll choose easy. And let's go ahead and we're going to back out. We're actually not going to prepare for the race just yet. We're going to go in a little different way. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to go up to 85 on aero. That's going to cost us $300,000. You can see we just have enough money to do that. And then after that, I think we'll focus on getting that 1.2 million in order to move up our engine. That's my current plan. We'll see how that works out because I could change it several times before we actually get enough money to make any changes. All right, now let's go into adjusting our work plan. And let's see, we've got short track at Richmond. So we'll do as much work as we can on this short track chassis. But you can see we're not going to be able to get it anywhere close to maxed out. And then we'll spend the rest of our efforts working back at. And finally, we can put Millie to work. That's the biggest reason why I decided to do this is so we could get all of our employees actually doing some work on these chassis from week to week. So now that's everybody assigned and everything is going to be, well, the best we can get it, quite frankly. When we get to Talladega, and of course, we're going to have to take a mismatch penalty there, but that's okay. All right, we'll back out of the work plan. Then we'll come into our simulate race, $90,000 on the line at Richmond. And let's see how much of that we can actually get. So we're going to have short track chassis. You can see it's recommending us to use the Speedway simply because it would come out a little bit better, particularly on the engine and suspension. But we're going to instead use the short track chassis and just go with that. 26th place, a little over 52,000 and 1,700 fans. So a little bit of money. But again, it's just creating more and more intrigue as we get deeper and deeper into the season. It's going to create more pressure on me to have some really good races and eventually be able to probably get a win in order to secure a spot in the playoffs. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, Kaz Grala, he's a fan. And JJ Yaley, apparently we had a run-in with him. And, Ty Majeski. Again, we're going back to the camping thing. This has got to be a group activity. We must be taking like a whole group of friends on these things. So we definitely want Ty Majeski to come with us when we go camping. And Ryan Priestley. Yeah, we apparently ran over a lot of people in that last race. All right, now we're into week number 11. And once again, Xfinity only. We've put out some feelers. Well, Not that it's a huge deal for us, but you can see we can't put out any feelers for cup teams, which is all we really care about at this point. So let's go ahead and prepare for Talladega, and we'll see what kind of mismatch penalty we're actually going to have here. Adjust our work plan, and now you can see we're at 90, 85, and 90 on that. Then we'll actually spend some time working on our Speedway chassis. So let's go ahead and get these guys busy working, and we'll go work on the short track chassis, even though we don't have a race coming up on that, simply because we'll put these guys to work any way we can. There we go. So we've got maxed chassis for us anyway on the Speedway chassis that we'll be using, and we'll see what kind of mismatch penalty. Probably something like a -10 is my guess for Talladega. Okay, so we're going to simulate the results here. Okay, only a -8, so that's going to take us down plenty far enough, but only a -8 there. And we come home, 29th. Okay, I was hoping, we want to get as good as we can, and it seems like somewhere around 21st to 24th is about the best we generally get. But another $63,000 there, so I'm happy about that. Adding the fans to the list. And let's see what kind of feedback we got. Ross Chastain is much happier with us now. And J.J. Yaley, that's 2 weeks in a row we've gotten him. And Brandon Jones, okay, apparently we had a run-in with him as well. Garrett Smithley, also not a fan. And Carl Long, he's liking us. Carl Long is definitely a fan. All right, let's see what we get into week 2. Now we have a week where it's only the Camping World trucks. So they're going to be at Martinsville. So tempting to jump in and run that race. So much fun at Martinsville. All right, so let's do short track chassis, which I think is nearly maxed out. Yes, that's going to max it out. And then after that, we'll go back to the Speedway chassis. And we'll get these guys busy working on those. And let's see, we got 2 guys left. And we'll go ahead and put them on the other Speedway chassis. Oops, we don't have anybody for engine. But we got Chris and Mark to work on aero and suspension. So let's go ahead and start our work plan there. And we'll simulate. Not quite as high a purse at Martinsville, only I believe it was 38,000 there. Yeah, 38,000 is the purse there. 19th place finish. Hey, that's better than what we've gotten on several occasions. Almost $22,000 and 103 fans. Okay, we were unable to complete our incentive. No shocker there. And apparently we were amazing, according to Ben Rhodes at Martinsville. And Austin Wayne Self. All right, he's also a fan. We'll take all the nice comments we can get and move on to week 13. You can see the money is very slow to accumulate when you need amounts like 1.2 million in order to upgrade your car. So I'm really enjoying that. The grind is real here if you want to simulate the races. All right, so we're going to prepare here and just that work plan. All right, we got our Speedway chassis. Let's go ahead and finish up the work on it. Put Chris on the aero, and then Mark will be suspension. And we got 4 Speedways in a row, so we'll head down to our other Speedway chassis. And then aero with Harrison. And finally, we'll put Stella on the suspension. That'll have everybody doing something. And have our chassis prepared. All right, so let's see what kind of finish we can get at Dover. We'll use Speedway chassis number 1. And 20th. Okay, we'll take that. Just under $25,000 and 122 fans. So that's getting us closer to 200,000, but we got a long, long way to go to get to where we want to be. All right, so Clay Greenfield, we had to run in with him. Thankfully, we were able to make him much more friendly just by apologizing. All right, Dalton Sargent, we also had a run in with him. Stuart Friesen, same thing. A lot of negative feedback there. Certainly not what we're looking for. All right, and it's back to week 14 and the Xfinity Series. Okay, let's prepare our car for Dover. And let's see. So we're going to be using our Speedway chassis. We'll get Millie working on the aero, and then Lauren on suspension. Then we'll go to our other Speedway chassis. As like we saw with the trucks, we got 4 Speedways in a row. So Cameron, we got to get Cameron a shower. He's looking kind of rough. Maybe we've been working him just a little bit too hard. He can certainly use a break. All right, I think that's everybody busy working. Let's start the work. And of course, that's going to get us to 90, 85, and 90 in bay number 2. So we're ready to simulate Dover, and let's see what we get. 23rd. Okay, we'll take that. That's certainly better than, 30th or 28th or anything like that. And $69,000 and nearly 1,800 more fans. So now that puts us over 40,000 fans. So we are climbing. All right, Jeremy Clements not happy with us, but we'll go ahead and apologize to him. And Chad Fincham, fortunately, looks like we got into him as well. All right, so we're sitting just under 250,000. And of course, part of that is we haven't been running 2 races in one weekend. So we've been getting one or the other, either trucks or Xfinity. So that can be a problem as well. And again, the weeks are just counting down, upping the pressure even more to get that victory and make it into the playoffs. The more I think about that, the more excited I get about that possibility. All right, looks like we're maxed out on the other parts of that. We'll go to our other Speedway chassis and get these guys busy working on it. Okay, let's go back to, let's see, short track will be the next thing we'll use. What do we have left? We got suspension, where we'll put Mark on that, and then aero, where we'll put Chris. And that should have everybody where they need to be. Okay, we'll back out, simulate Kansas, see what we get. Hopefully, another good finish and lots of money. 21st, all right, we'll take it. And 20,536 and 106 fans. All right, Cody Coughlin, he is not happy with us at all. Clay Greenfield, once again, we've had a run-in with him. Parker Clearman, we'll apologize to him as well, although he seems to still be fairly happy with us. And now it's on to Charlotte in the Xfinity cars. All right, so let's get busy working on both of our chassis. I'll tell you what, we'll start with the top one up here and get Jillian, Millie, and Lauren busy working on that. And then we'll go the other Speedway chassis and get it working as well, because we'll need it the following week at Pocono. Again, it'd be tempting to run Pocono as well, because I know how the AI are at that track. But we will not be running that race just for that reason. A nice purse, 145,000 at Charlotte. So hopefully we can come away with a good finish. 23rd, okay, about what we've been getting lately. And most importantly, $79,587 there. Picked up 1,830 more fans. So that'll get us to nearly 350,000. But again, a long way to go to do further improvements to our car. All right, Stephen Light, he's not a fan. He is anything but happy with us right now. All right, so Ty Dillon, I can't believe we don't have a picture for Ty Dillon. All right, so he's still happy with us, though, even though we took him out. And Josh Bilicki, same thing. He's still very happy with us, even though our driving apparently left something to be desired. All right, week 16, and that's where we're going to leave it for now. So I wanted you guys to see as much of this as possible. What I'll do before our next video is I'll actually simulate some more races, and then our next video will actually contain another race that we'll actually run. So we'll see how much money we can accumulate and how close to the end of the year we're getting before we will actually be in dire straits in order to try to make the playoffs. So for now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our Making It Fun Career Mode series in NASCAR Heat 3.